Hey friends, funstock.co.uk is the UK and Europe's #1 retro game store. Funstock.co.uk has a special offer just for you. Use the discount code PLANET to receive 5% off any online order on funstock.co.uk. That's right, 5% off a Sega Ultimate Portable, a Super Retro Trio, or even a Neo Geo X. Use the discount code PLANET, that's PLANET, to get 5% off any order on funstock.co.uk.
Come bust a move where the games are played. It's chill, it's fresh, it's play on!
Hey, listen!
I'm Commander Shepard.
Let's do this. I think we're just getting started.
I think there's some school children down the way. You can go and find them.
Hello, and again.
Get over here!
Welcome, everybody, to episode 57 of the Play On Podcast on PlanetArbitrary.com. I am your host, Pat B. of Pat's Retro Video Game Reviews on PlanetArbitrary.com. And joining me, as always,
Anthony.
Annie.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Pat.
How are you guys?
So good.
So great. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm finally recovering after Thanksgiving. You know, losing some weight. Trying to.
Not even trying. No.
Not even trying.
I gotta say, I did have sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes to go for breakfast a few days in my car on the way to work. So it was kind of nice. I do love Thanksgiving.
Did you combine? Now, do you do, like, I think Thanksgiving is the only holiday where you can take all of the food that's on your plate and everything can touch everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
so
agree
are
with
you
that.
the kind of person that everything cannot touch everything on a normal
depending,
basis?
yeah, sometimes. You know, certain
'Cause
things can't touch other things.
That's interesting that you say that, because I think that in general, most of the time, I mix up my food. But on
Really?
Thanksgiving, I very much don't. Mostly because sweet potatoes don't really taste good with, like, party potatoes, as Aunt Ginger calls them.
But, like, I would
Cheesy
think
potatoes.
you don't take the sweet potatoes and mix them in with the regular mashed potatoes and
Oh,
make, like,
fuck no.
a potato
No,
swirl.
because the sweet potatoes are like dinner dessert. So I can have like regular dinner and dessert at the same time, and then I get pie on top of that. So I mean, like,
Oh, man.
it's
yeah.
win-win. So no, I can't mix it up because the sweet potatoes are goddamn delicious.
And everyone in the end loses.
And everybody else loses because I get all the good leftovers. They were like, take what you want. I'm like, okay. And I took all the good stuff.
All the cookies.
Yes.
All the dessert.
All the
took
desserts, the pecan pies.
all the stuff. Yes.
Yeah, well, it was Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving, and there was, you know, other stuff happened in the gaming world. All kinds of stuff is going on right now. We've got a jam-packed show for you. We've actually been screwing around and doing game stuff for the last hour and a half before we even started recording. So we've got
night.
we've got Friday night pizza date
Yep.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all games.
All games all the time.
So yes, we got a lot of stuff we want to talk about. We've got news. There's Street Fighter news. There's Grand Theft Auto news. We've got stuff for a giveaway, a special giveaway courtesy of Game Classy.
Yay!
Yeah, we've got a giveaway for everybody. We've got a special retro recap. We're gonna do a special birthday wish to a special retro console, celebrated its 20th birthday. And then we're also going to do a quick review of the Retrobit Retro Trio. We were toying around with it before we started recording.
God.
So it was good stuff. We got some thoughts. You know, we'll share those. So yeah, before we get going though, there was one thing, you know, the past, I'll say week, you know, because food has been pretty much the main topic of most discussions lately here in America with Thanksgiving happening.
Yeah.
Something came up, and I noticed that people were very sensitive to this one particular food. When you guys were in high school,
Oh, I can't wait for this.
this is,
Yay.
or any schooling where you were getting served a hot lunch,
Uh-huh.
did you guys ever have Bosco Sticks?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, did you ever have a Bosco stick?
Just describe it.
Wait,
So wait, you don't know what
I
a
don't
Bosco
know what a
stick
Bosco
is?
stick
No.
is.
So right off I'm gonna have to tell you. You
Yeah.
have no ideas
I've
of what a
never heard
Bosco
of a
stick
Bosco
no,
is.
but I feel like the name sounds familiar. I know for sure I haven't had one because I can describe to you all of my hot lunch because I was spoiled.
Yeah, and then even
in,
outside
like,
of
a
school.
Super. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think
No experience with
Is
the
it like
Bosco
a
stick.
pizza stick or something?
Is that what you think it is?
I think
I
it's a
guess.
pizza stick.
Yeah,
You think it's
probably
pizza
some
sticks?
sort of like dip it in marinara.
Yeah.
Is
that's what I'm
there?
thinking.
Is it just like a
With
plain
there's
bread
cheese. There
stick?
might be
There's
cheese
inside
inside.
of it.
Really? So I say Bosco stick, and you think a cheese-filled breadstick?
Yeah.
Basically?
Maybe that's just because we had pizza for dinner, and I'm
No,
really
that's
not
what I'm
done
thinking.
with
That's
the cheese
the first
stick.
thing I thought of when you said
I
Bosco
want to
stick.
eat more cheese sticks.
That's
right
exactly
now.
what the Bosco stick
Get
is.
the fuck out! Are you kidding me?
No.
What?
That is
Then
Wow.
yeah, we had them.
Listen, Anthony and Annie love food, so we can kind of
love
like
pizza.
sense. Okay, so you were kind of prefacing this with people got mad at you about this. So
Yes.
tell me what it is that, because cheese inside of bread dipping in marinara, I don't feel any anger in me right now.
Right.
Why were
And
people
you-
getting mad?
People were getting mad because I wasn't born in Illinois or in Chicago
Right.
originally. I'm not from this area. I'm from further west and in North Dakota and Minnesota, as maybe Game Classy listeners that have tuned in may know. Joe and Steve love to poke fun at my Minnesota heritage. I had never heard of it until I moved down here and I started going. We started junior high.
You had never heard of a Bosco
I
stick?
never heard of a Bosco
Okay,
stick.
I'm 30 years old and I just heard of it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when I
So
came
what-
down here and people started talking about Bosco sticks, they would say, I'm like, what is a Bosco stick? And it was never like, oh, it's this cheese-filled breadstick, which takes, what did that take? Maybe not even a second, half a second for me
Yeah.
to say, oh, cheese-filled breadstick. People were
Right.
like, what? Wait. Teacher, stop class. Pat doesn't
know what a Bosco stick is.
what a Bosco stick is. Like, people were like,
Stop the fucking
totally,
presses.
like, seriously, it sucked the air out of their lungs. Like, they had no response to me not knowing what a Bosco stick was.
Wait, so Joe of Game Classy said this to you, or was it?
No. It was just random people at work that I was talking to that I know. I
okay.
was like, oh, hey, by the way, do you know about a Bosco stick? And people were like, yeah, I know what a Bosco stick is. And I was
So
like,
all
oh,
the people that like went to your high school. 'Cause
yeah.
I feel like that's a very specific crowd. They all kind of like know each other. It's kind of one of those like, I don't want to say the word incest, but they all like know each other's business.
Wow.
And like
Wow.
market day is probably a really big thing with them.
You're
Market day
you're
sounds
really, you're going right down the line of describing my school
Am I
experience.
am I hitting the nail right on the head?
As soon as you said market day, I was like, yep. But yeah, so through high school, I noticed that people were very sensitive and just cherished the Bosco stick. And so it came up again because, we have a high schooler working at my work. And, so I see her once in a while and she was talking about school lunch and she brought up Bosco stick. And I was like, when did you know about the Bosco stick? And she said, well, everybody knows about it. I was like, no, not everybody
That's
knows.
not true.
I was like,
everybody
I'm going to enlighten you, 16-year-old person. Not everyone in this country knows what a Bosco stick is, or world for that matter, since we're talking to the world right now.
Really?
Not many, I thought maybe it was a regional thing, so I was like, I'm going to start asking people.
Yeah, you
So
should.
While I was at work, I saw customers, I saw people, and, people that I'm comfortable asking
Yeah.
the question, hey, what do you think about the Bosco stick? And so I would ask them, and they'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, I know the Bosco stick.
Okay. Also, I got to say that your work is like kind of in the area of where your high school. So I mean, like it's a
in the-
little far, but it's kind of close.
It's hotbed Bosco stick country.
Okay, yeah. So because I feel like
BOSCO.
Yeah, I believe so.
if I were to ask, okay, so here, let me just give you a little rundown of the spoiled upper middle class area.
Somewhat. I mean, it's a mix of people, but that's why I thought it was the perfect place to talk about the
Yeah.
Bosco
That's exactly
stick.
what I imagined it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I
Yeah.
started asking people. I was like, hey, what do you think about the Bosco stick? And like, I fucking love Bosco sticks.
Okay, but let me just, because I feel like if I ask people that I work with, for
Yes.
example, or people that I went to high school with, I don't think they would know what it is. I really don't, because we had market day like when I was in grade school, but it just kind of faded after that. Like they didn't do it anymore. And
Right.
like our hot lunches in grade school were like Wendy's. We
Oh.
got, and like McDonald's and Domino's.
Wow,
like we were
fancy
super
pants.
spoiled.
Jesus.
And then in middle school, it was like, I mean, Bosco sticks look delicious, but it was like, they would have pizza or they would have like, I don't know. It wasn't We were just super spoiled. I guess, they had like a whole rack of candy bars. Like it was just, we were so
My
spoiled.
God.
Yeah.
These are not the Michelle Obama lunches.
No,
that
not at
are
all. I for sure did
the
not go to school in
mainstay.
that time. So I just
Classic
feel
America.
like it is regional, but it's also like very, very localized. I don't think that
it could. That's why I wanted to bring it up and
Yeah.
spread the word about the Maybe there's people listening at home or in their car or whatever that
Yeah.
have a passenger and they're having the argument right now. Yeah,
You've
I
never
fucking
heard
know
of
what
Bosco Sticks?
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Like, and that's how I was treated every time. It was never like, oh, they're totally good. You should totally try them. I can't believe you haven't heard of it. It was always very confrontational. Every single person I asked, and I
awkward.
asked like 10 people,
It's really awkward.
and they were always like, "How have you never heard of it? They're so good. Like, why would you even say
a
anything
lot of
bad?"
things are good that I've never heard of, okay?
I know, and I was like, I think
It's
really
like in Parks and Rec with Little Sebastian. Like,
Yeah.
that's how people are like with
That's
Bosco
exact.
Sticks.
That's the perfect analogy. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
I was starting to think it was because people like to say the word Bosco.
Bosco.
Like, it has nothing.
Jewel Bosco.
Like, why would it be? Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. If it's
No.
Buscu or Bosco, I don't know.
I think you're
It's
nailed it.
French.
Yeah, I have no idea, but people are really sensitive. Those in the Bosco know seem to be really protective of Bosco.
Just like on Parks and Rec and Little Sebastian,
Little
they're so protective of Little Sebastian. He whinnied.
He winning.
All right, well then I'm glad you guys didn't know
No.
We didn't know.
because everybody else,
Discovered
I was
together.
waiting for you guys to be like, well,
Oh my god,
yeah.
you idiot!
Yeah, seriously, I
guess.
thought I was going to be outnumbered here and have to defend myself for not
No.
knowing about fucking breadstick, fucking cheese stick. I mean, I love bread and cheese. I'm the one that gave Pizza Hut the idea for the cheese-filled crust.
Oh,
so, I mean,
yeah?
I'm all about bread and cheese, but I mean, must not be that big a deal if I haven't heard of it.
I mean,
You know,
Anthony and I really love cheese, anything that's like pizza related, and we've never heard of this. So I just
Yeah.
feel like
I mean, really, any of the hot lunches that I could think of from school, not very memorable.
no.
So I'm sure Bosco Sticks are fine, but if they served them at a school, they're not going to be that good.
yeah. I mean,
'Cause
these were.
Do you remember the slices of pizza that looked like they were made of plastic wrap? Like they were like square.
Well,
Not
you
at
know,
my school.
Awkward slices of pizza.
Yeah, my
We
school.
had Domino's at my school.
Jesus.
Jesus, what did you
you
go to
go
school in a
to?
mall or something? Like, what were
Hogwarts?
you?
We went. Yeah, it was Hogwarts.
Fuck.
Hogwarts Elementary School in Naperville, Illinois.
Yeah, before you sit down for your excellent feast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a rack of candy bars. Go learn.
Yeah, they just float over the
Great
students.
hall.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
diabetes.
Owls just fly over the cafeteria, dropping them over the students.
Oh man, it was so good.
Here's your Bosco Sticks.
No, we didn't have them on
sorry.
Wednesdays. I mean, not on Wednesdays. What day was it? I think it was whatever day. Oh, it must have been Friday. Anyway, when we had Wendy's, we would get a Frosty
Yeah.
and we would get chicken nuggets and potato chips. We wouldn't get fries. So all of the cool kids, because I obviously was one, would take their potato chips, put a little bit of Frosty on the chip, and then put a little bit of chicken nugget on the chip Frosty. Eat
Oh,
it up.
man.
Oh my god. So good. I'm choking. So good. I'm salivating so much. It was delicious.
Well, I'll tell you what high school Pat's daily diet consisted of at public school. It was 3 round pizzas, about, I don't know, 5-inch personal pizzas, little round pizzas, but the crust all the way around went up, just maybe a few centimeters above the cheese across the top of the pizza, which just happened to work perfectly if you were to take a cup of melted nacho cheese and dump the whole thing out on top of the pizza.
Oh man.
It would form this
Wow.
perfect pool of cheese, liquid cheese across the
Wow.
top of the pizza. I would eat 3 of those.
Oh my god.
And an all sport.
Wow.
Oh
Wow,
yeah,
you
what
gotta get the
blue?
all-sport.
Blue
Yeah,
all
blue
sport?
all-sport.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would have-
Is there any
yeah.
other flavor?
I
Because
would
red
have-
really did suck.
Yeah, I would have blue drink.
Blue drink.
Well, because I was active, I was in sports.
Gotta replenish those electric
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah, and then it was cookies, chocolate chip cookies for
Of
dessert.
course.
And I saw a friend of mine do this the very first time I ever saw that happen. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Dude, look, you can pour an entire cup of cheese. It doesn't even spill. It's perfect."
Wow.
It doesn't even spill.
And so we started doing it, and then all of a sudden we noticed in the cafeteria we saw other kids doing it, and then eventually if you saw someone walking around like in the cafeteria with a round pizza, they had a cup of cheese with them. And I mean, it got
That's
to
just see, that's just what you did. That's what
Yeah.
you did with the Wendy's and the fries. I mean, the
Yeah, there
Wendy's
you
and
go,
the chips
yeah.
and the Frosty.
that was
Yeah.
my Bosco stick.
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. So all
Well,
right,
solid
much-
20 minutes about
Okay.
Bosco Sticks.
yeah, there we go.
Thanks, listeners.
Video games.
Uh,
Games.
Let's see. Moving on. As you probably heard once again at the beginning of the podcast, our friends at funstock.co.uk, they still have a special discount code PLANET. Get 5% off any purchase on their website, any online order. Now until forever.
Expression never.
If you were looking at purchasing a JXD Retro handheld or a Retron 5, they're back in stock. Woohoo! As far as I know, they're back in stock. I saw an announcement on their Facebook. That's really the best way to follow Funstock is on their Facebook. But the announcement went out that they're back in stock. So check Facebook first, but they did announce that there's more available. So we also have a special, the Retro Trio, which is available on which is available on funstock.co.uk. We tested one out. We tried one out.
Yeah, we'll tell you our thoughts.
So yeah,
We had a nice little party tonight.
Yeah.
There was pizza.
The pizza might have happened. Yep. So we'll talk about that, and then let's see. Game Classy, the guy Joe and Steve over at Game Classy, our sister podcast, our little sister podcast over there,
Kid sister.
have generously donated a brand new copy of Wasteland 2 for PC.
Nice. Yay!
And they said, "Hey, this is a video game. You guys talk about video games."
It's probably exactly how they said it too.
Yeah, it's
this is a
exactly.
video game.
Hey, super nice guy.
Yeah.
We have this super nice idea for you.
Yeah. Please take it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a copy of Wasteland 2 from Joe and Steve at Game Classy that we would like to give away for free to you. Woo! And because Game Classy was so generous in donating the game for a giveaway, we thought I would sweeten the deal a little bit and throw a Play On Podcast t-shirt in there, too.
Oh, snap.
Oh, my gosh.
Merry Christmas.
Snap.
Merry Christmas. How you participate in the giveaway? It's easy. Be the 10th person to email the words Play On to pet@planetarbitrary.com. That's all you have to do.
That's it, huh?
Last time they had to answer
It was like a
question.
whole thing.
Yeah. Blood samples, everything, background checks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do, Play On in the subject line, 10th person to email me at pat@planetarbitrary.com. You win the game and the shirt. Free to you.
Oh my gosh.
I will
I
contact
hope
you if
wear
you're
an
the winner.
XXS. Just kidding.
Lols.
I will email you back to notify you that you won, and I will send it to you directly, hopefully before the holidays.
Thanks, Pat.
So there you go. Thanks, courtesy of Game Classy Podcast, all tabletop
Thanks,
gaming news.
Sis podcast.
Thanks, kid sister.
Let's see. Moving on to the news. Lots of stuff is going on. PlayStation Experience is going on.
Let's hear it.
Talk to me about PlayStation Experience.
Well, it's PlayStation's little get-together that they have once a year, and they make announcements, and it's kind of like their mini E3 almost.
That sounds cute.
Yeah,
Sounds cute.
It's intimate. Well, something has leaked. Something massive has leaked. A huge leak has come out of Capcom's camp.
Leak in air quotes.
Leak. Splashed all over us, all over the news.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, a little bit.
Showered all over
When
us.
you say it that way.
Squirted all over.
Wow.
This podcast has just gone way. This episode is Street Fighter V. The trailer for Street Fighter V has leaked.
What?
Yeah. Even bigger news, it's exclusive to PS4 and PC.
Wow.
No Xbox One allowed.
Fuck the Xbox.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, there's no information about this game yet. There's been no official announcements, though they're expecting an official announcement at the PlayStation Experience this weekend. But there's been no reason as to... They haven't explained why it's PS4, PC only.
I don't think it is.
You don't
My
think it is?
theory is that it will be a timed thing where like PlayStation will have it maybe for like a month or something or a couple months, and then it will go to Xbox.
Oh, you asshole. That makes so much fucking sense.
I know.
Fuck you.
It's like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. But I could be very wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it would be cool if it was right down the middle, like, nope.
Yep.
No Xbox
Straight
One.
up.
PS4, PC only. No one else gets
People
it.
fucking love Street Fighter.
It's a phenomenon. It's huge.
it's a huge
it's
thing.
just absolutely huge. I was talking to Adam, friend of the podcast, life friend as
Life
well.
friend.
IRL.
And he had some concerns about the exclusivity of Street Fighter V, and he was thinking that the PC just doesn't have the install base to have a title that massive be exclusive to PC only. He's worried that PC gamers might not show up for this game as Capcom might be planning or thinking they will.
You know, 2013 Anthony would have agreed with Adam. 2014 Anthony is balls deep in PC gaming. And after I watched,
That's my
I've
husband.
watched or I've looked at pictures of the StarCraft tournaments And there's a big install base for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So,
and especially when you throw that exclusivity tag on there,
So
that
people are gonna get it.
It's just for you.
yeah.
I think they're gonna show up for it. I really do.
Well, they're gonna pirate it. You know, there's gonna be so many people playing it, and then it'll
Well,
be
that's
like the
what
whole
I
thing.
initially thought, is that it's going to get pirated and people are going to be able to play it on Xbox.
Well, but see, there's ways to protect a PC game. I mean, those that played Far Cry 4 just found out that they were able to tweak the game. So if you pirated a copy of Far Cry 4, there was there was a feature of Far Cry 4 that did not work.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that. It was so funny.
Yeah,
and they were
post-launch.
tweeting it. They were tweeting at Ubisoft about it, and Ubisoft was like, "Oh, yeah, that's because you downloaded the game illegally."
Yeah.
I forget what it was.
Yeah,
it was
I
like
can't-
the mini map. Oh, the mini map was gone. Or
Is that what it
something.
was? Yeah.
They were like, "Yeah, that means you pirated the game."
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I mean, there's ways to curb the piracy in the PC world, but I mean, PS4 clearly is the front runner for consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I see like that makes sense. And I have a PS4, so I was just ecstatic to hear that Street Fighter V was going to be just for us.
You know, I could see it making
Just
sense
for us.
because Capcom gave Xbox the exclusive with Dead Rising 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that was just part of their plan. It was like, we'll give them Dead Rising and we'll do a Street Fighter on PlayStation. Like maybe that's just what they were doing to balance things out.
That could be, in my opinion. I
who
think the PlayStation won out on that deal if that's how it went down.
Yeah.
I love Dead
Totally.
Rising. I love Dead Rising,
Well,
but I
no.
mean Street Fighter is just
Different fan bases.
it is. It's two different worlds.
I don't even know, like, you know, but I'm not into the fighting game scene. I feel like fighting games have a place more on PlayStation than they do on Xbox. Like Xbox, you think is a shooter platform. You know, you got your Halos and your whatnots. I don't see the PlayStation as that. I see that more as the, you know, the Naughty Dog studio, the Uncharted, the fighting games, stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
So there you
I would
go.
agree with that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Roasted.
Roasted.
So Street Fighter V, and there's no release date has been announced, but again, look to the PlayStation Experience this weekend for more information from Capcom about that. Moving on in the news, speaking of consoles and which ones are leading and which ones are not, Anthony, big news for you. Real news.
Well,
Real news.
It's not confirmed. It's through there was some rumors circulating in VGCharts.com, which has been known as a kind of a shit show before. But there had been a bunch of rumblings that the Xbox One outsold the PlayStation 4 in North America during the Black Friday, during the Thanksgiving holiday, which is, if you're not in the United States, that's a huge, huge weekend for shopping. That's like probably where like 80% of retail shopping is done for the year. It's like on Black Friday. And so
the day itself makes a lot of people really angry.
yeah.
Yeah, like trampling angry.
Trampling.
Yeah.
Like
you always hear about riots and people dying
Yeah.
and
Fucking
it's fucking
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could literally die.
Yeah.
You could die if you
Oh, yeah.
shop
People
on
have
Black
straight
Friday
up died from Black
in
Friday.
the United States.
But like you could
lose your life.
die like if you go at some sort of crazy hour and
Yeah.
you wait in line for like a Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah,
But like so much shopping happens. And so Xbox had dropped the price of the Xbox One like the week before Thanksgiving.
yeah, down to $329.
329 or something like that. 329 or
crazy.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a great fucking deal, and it's the great time to get an Xbox, and it's only temporary. I think it's only through the holidays, and then it goes back up. But so I think because of that, and probably because of the Master Chief Collection coming out, the rumors, which seems likely, is that in North America the Xbox One finally outsold the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Now, looking at this chart globally, because Europe, the PlayStation 4 just dominated in Europe, it looks like globally the PlayStation 4 will still continue to outsell the Xbox One. But for the first time, we're actually seeing a turn.
Yeah.
And so whether that lasts or not, who knows? But they obviously did the right thing by dropping the price, by putting out the Master Chief Collection, by having some good bundles. There was a couple of different bundles you can get. So we'll see what happens when the official news comes out. But I imagine Microsoft will tout the shit out of that if that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, they will.
They could use a good victory,
Maybe even continue that price.
which would be smart.
Yeah.
Smart on their part.
I mean, at this point, they kind of need to pull out the stops a little bit.
Yes, they
and
do.
just say, you know what, let's just fucking sell it. Just
Yeah.
sell that thing. So, well, that's big news for you. Congratulations
Thanks.
to you.
Thank you.
Yay.
I did it.
Let's see. Moving on. We're moving quick because we got some special stuff. We're going to, big review. We're going to talk about, we got Shield talk. And if you've listened to previous episodes, if you heard us talk about the Nvidia Shield, You're in for a treat today.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
You're gonna get double shielded.
Oh my god.
Yeah, DS'd.
DP'd.
Let's see.
Too far.
Okay, sorry, guys.
I almost said it.
Grand Theft Auto in Australia. Australia's been known as kind of a tough country to sell video games in because they have very strict content laws, censorship laws. Things have to get edited for content. They're very proper for. It's just kind of it's weird the way that country is towards content. It's a very like China, North Korea approach to stuff as far as media content goes, video games, movies, music, things like that. It's just kind of weird. But Kmart and Target have agreed to pull Grand Theft Auto 5 off all of its retail shelves. You cannot buy Grand Theft Auto 5 at Kmart or Target, which is owned by a single corporate entity in Australia called Wesfarmers. I don't know
only
who they
in
are.
only in Australia.
Only in Australia. So
Why?
and now I'll tell
We're not
you
there
I'll,
yet.
I'll
Okay,
tell
I'm
you
just
why
too
because
excited.
this gets a little weird. They talked a lot about this and there's some hypocrisy, but I'll let you decide for yourselves because this doesn't really add up entirely. And I'll go through this. Kmart released a statement, an official statement talking about why they pulled Grand Theft Auto 5 off their shelves, saying, following a significant review of all content in the Grand Theft Auto games, Kmart has taken the decision to remove this product immediately. Kmart apologizes for not being closer to the content of this game. So that just seems like a general...
A game that came out a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. Just across the board.
Apologizes for not being closer to the content.
Because
Yes.
it's so violent and so vulgar and
Well, yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
And they also pulled Grand Theft Auto 4 and Liberty City, episodes from Liberty City. They pulled that game as well.
And I believe they pulled Saints Row, like a couple other games, I think, too.
I've got a funny little list. It's
Ooh.
weird what they choose to sell
Yeah,
and
let's
not
talk
sell.
about it.
So after that, because the same corporate entity owns Kmart, also owns Target. Target in
Really?
Australia followed suit. Yep. Target also pulled Grand Theft Auto off their store shelves, but did it silently. They didn't say that they didn't make any big official announcements. They just pulled it. But they did release a lot of comments. Jim Cooper, who is the general manager of corporate affairs, had a lot to say about Target's stance in Australia about Grand Theft Auto and the entire series, basically. And this is what he had to say about it. He said, we've been speaking to many customers over recent days about the game, and there's a significant level of concern about the game's content. We've also had customer feedback in support of us selling the game, and we respect their perspective on the issue. However, we feel the decision to stop selling Grand Theft Auto 5 is in line with the majority view of our customers. So they're putting it on, they're saying that there was public outcry,
Really? Like, I'm not going to shop here if you sell this game.
basically.
I don't know how
I just
Australia
so
is,
doubt
but
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, so they've pulled Grand Theft Auto 5, but they're still selling other R-rated movies, DVDs, other games that have mature content in it.
So
But
what
Grand
makes it
Theft,
different?
but Grand Theft Auto 5 has been singled out, and people pointed that out. And they said, "Well, how can you not sell Grand Theft Auto 5, but you can sell, fucking Showgirls,
Right.
Yeah.
or whatever?" And so they addressed that as well.
Way to drop Showgirls, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like a
do you like
25-year-old movie.
yes. If you've ever seen Striptease,
Wait,
I think Demi Moore is
Is-
making a comeback.
Showgirls?
It's the
Is
one
that
with the
the
Saved
movie?
by the Bell girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
old as
really-
shit.
yeah.
Good one.
Well, I don't know any. I mean, because that was pretty shocking, and
Yeah, it's just
You
funny
know.
because it was like such a big deal when we were younger, and I'm sure most people listening are like, "What the fuck is Showgirl?"
it's still a big deal. It still matters to me. So when people asked him, this seems a little bit hypocritical that you're selling that stuff, but not Grand Theft Auto 5. He said, while these products often contain imagery that some customers find offensive, in the vast majority of cases, we believe they are appropriate products for us to sell to adult customers. However, in the case of Grand Theft Auto 5, we have listened to the strong feedback from customers that this is not a product they want us to sell.
Okay.
So they're saying, give us the Saved by the Bell stripper movie,
Yeah.
but don't give us Grand Theft Auto 5.
I just don't get it.
It might just be like,
It's something about video games for
it must,
sure.
yeah, it must be. It must be. I just can't.
Well, I've read and I've seen, and I don't know, official reasons. I mean, because they're being very PR careful with
Yeah.
with these statements. I mean, these have been heavily vetted. These statements here, but I have read things that it's because of the treatment of women in the game, the portrayal of women in the game, and the violence against
Isn't
women in the game.
Showgirls about strippers?
It certainly is.
So, what?
But I mean, they're just making a living.
You know, I
Well,
just
so are-
this whole sexism thing is just because when you play Grand Theft Auto, 99% of the time you're shooting a male villain, you know, like a biker gang that's all guys, like, and it's just like every once in a while there's something with a girl in it. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but like that's what everybody always focuses on. They're like, they treat women. Well, like, what about the 500 dudes you blew your head, the blew
Yeah.
their heads
Well,
off?
right. I mean,
That's true.
but I mean, that stuff. I mean, we see that all the time. But I mean, even like in fucking older movies, if you saw a woman,
Yeah.
a violent act committed against a woman,
Sure.
if you're in the audience, I mean, even for me, you're still like, Jesus, he just fucking hit the woman. Like, we were just watching a movie, and then the life
Women-
Shit just
women-
got real.
Yeah, then fucking
They
the
want
real
women
world happened.
equality of like treat us the same, but then they throw a fucking stink fit when a woman is treated the same as a guy in a video game.
But I don't know if that's.
Because we went through this with the Call of Duty thing, remember?
Yeah,
when
well,
you could
yeah.
play as a girl, and
Right.
they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
you're shooting girls." Well, what do you want? Like, pick your side. You
Yeah,
know?
right?
Do you
Yeah.
want equality, or do you want to like make a stink about stuff like this?
I think someone showed them that you could. Basically, when you're in the free roam of the world of Grand Theft Auto, I think someone showed them that you could just drive up to a random female on the street and beat her to death, and then rob her.
Yeah, and they were probably like, "Oh my
And
god."
I think something like, I'm not saying that's fact, but I mean, that can happen in the game. I mean, you can
could do that
pick,
with
you can
anybody.
pick up a prostitute in Grand Theft Auto,
Sure.
have sex with her, pay for the act, and then when you're done, kill her, take your money back, and drive away, and be like, all right, good, I got my money back. I had to get my health bar back up. So
Yeah.
So like having sex with a prostitute raises your health.
yeah.
Does it really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
You think it
And
would
get
go
some
down?
money.
You think it would go down slowly over
Stamina.
time, but
Probably
yeah.
because you pick up like Hep C or something. But
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That would be great if you could pick up STDs from them. So I mean, you have to make life decisions.
Yeah, I like that.
But the CEO of Take-Two, which is the parent company of Rockstar, they released a statement. Obviously, they're disappointed that Target and Kmart have decided to not carry the game. And they also said that interactive entertainment shares the same creative freedom as books, television, and movies. I stand behind our products, the people who create them, and the consumers who play them. And that's the CEO of Take-Two. I didn't even write his name down. So it's weird.
Here's what
the
bothers me about the
approach.
whole stupid thing is like the corporation that apparently owns Target and Kmart is going to be morally picky choosy. They're going to be morally just in
Yeah.
Australia, but not in the United States or anywhere else where that game is sold.
Well, and it's the way Australia classifies mature content. But see, that's what's so confusing about it is it seems like it'd be so much broader. That would be, well, it's Australia that's fucking saying it.
Here's
but
the Anthony conspiracy on this then. I feel like because this keeps happening in Australia with video games, I feel like there is some, and I'm going to use the word political, even though that's not the term, that there's some political reasoning of like, maybe there's a tax on video games that certain developers or publishers don't want to pay. And when they don't pay that stuff, they're like, well, we're just going to pull the game and we're going to say it's like a tax for these X-rated these R-rated games, stuff like that. Like, I almost wonder if there's some shit like that they use this as a power play.
It's certainly that. I mean,
it just seems weird that, like you said, it would be games and not movies or books or TV or anything else.
Well, I think it's across the board. It's all media content. I've heard this. I mean, about Australia before. Mainly with video games, but I've heard that it's. They have a weird approach to classifying mature content, and there's games that get edited for content.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, and there's a process where you can appeal, your classification. If you're a game that's been labeled as banned or ultra super adult only, crazy mature game, you can appeal that classification and get reevaluated and get it lowered, or even get off the ban list.
Interesting.
But what I thought was weird is that it was Kmart said that they were sorry for not being closer to the content of the game. Then you have Target saying, well, it was our customers that said they didn't want us selling the
it's
game.
bullshit.
But both companies are owned by the same corporate entity.
Yeah.
So which is it? Is it the customers or is it the corporation, the face, the company itself saying, we disagree with the content, not the customers, we have a problem with it. So which is it?
Sweet PR slides is what it is.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. And so, but I mean, this is not, Grand Theft Auto is not the first game that's gone through this. Let's see, Australia, there are games that have been banned, and right now, I mean, big games. South Park Stick of Truth, banned in Australia. State of Decay, banned in Australia. Saints Row, banned in Australia. And 50 Cent's Bulletproof is banned in
Oh
Australia.
shit!
Yeah, 50 Cent, you ain't getting no sales
That's
in
like
Australia.
a
Okay, but-
15-year-old game.
Also, I've heard that certain things that we find completely, like, morally shocking are just totally normal in other countries. Like, what
Yeah.
was it? We were talking about...
Nudity in commercials in Europe.
Yeah, we were talking about that. There was something with, like, a free... like a statue or something that you got with one of your video games or something.
Oh,
it
that
was
was
the boobs,
the Dead
busty
Island.
girl.
What was it?
It was like a torso of a zombie girl, but it was like her bosoms basically
Yeah.
in a bikini,
Right.
all covered in blood.
all covered in blood and stuff.
Yeah. And like, but that's just like normal.
Yeah, I forget because that wasn't in the United States. It was somewhere
No, it was
else,
like in Europe, I think.
probably.
I think
Yeah.
that was like Dead Island or something.
It was Dead
Yeah.
Island, Riptide, something edition, Booby edition. Something,
Booby edition.
Yeah,
something like that. It was on one of those earlier Play On episodes.
yeah. But then, see, now there's games that have appealed the process and come back. And listen to the list of the games that were once banned that are now totally cool,
Paid
except
some
for
extra money.
except for Kmart and Target. These games totally fly now
First
in
of
Australia.
all, why is Kmart still in business?
You know, where else are you gonna get your Mad Max outfit?
Get your
you
Martha
know?
Stewart collection.
No, I'm sorry, Australia. I didn't. I'm an American. That's an American
It's just a
thing. I'm
thing.
sorry. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. That's no. But listen to the list of games that got back. Now, some of these games were edited for content,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally bogus in the first. I mean, that would never fly
Censorship.
in the States. Yeah, that's blatant censorship. But some of these games were
Grand
edited
Theft Auto is like one of the hottest selling games in the United States.
in the world.
Yeah,
In the world.
absolutely.
So games that were once banned in Australia that got reclassified, got reevaluated, and then deemed safe for the public: Aliens vs Predator, Duke Nukem 3D, Fallout 3, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 4, Left 4 Dead, Mortal Kombat, and Sexy Poker.
Sexy poker.
Yes,
Sexy
Sexy
time,
Poker
party
made
time.
it. Yes.
Wow.
So it's just
Don't move to Australia.
bizarre. Now I've heard people gripe about it before, but this is insane. I mean.
But it doesn't mean that they don't sell them at all in Australia, right?
Right. I
No.
mean, yeah, you can still totally
Yeah.
get these
Still
games
get them
in
in
Australia,
other
but I mean,
places.
you might be getting censored versions or games that have been edited.
And from what I understand, too, games are much more expensive in Australia, aren't they?
I think they are a little bit more.
Like, because I always see people complaining about that, especially digital prices. They're always like, "Yeah, you guys should be thankful in the United States your games are $60 because they're like 80 there or something."
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, this also goes, this also kind of happens in America because there's games that get released, worldwide. And this happens with cover artwork, where some covers for certain games, like Silent Hill is always a big one, maybe very graphic in, say, Europe or the Japanese release, but the American release will have just, a very clean picture, something that's far more censored or sensitive. And that happens all the time. That's been going on forever. No one says anything about that. It's always been kind of like an oddity.
Yeah.
More like in game collecting, you want to get, the cover variants for certain games because they're different in different regions. But content, it's just weird, and I can't get over the fact that it's Kmart saying they were sorry because they were not closer to the content of the game,
blows me away.
and Target was like, "Well, you fuckers told us not to sell it,"
Right.
So
Right.
I don't get it.
yeah, it's very, very weird. But you know what? Grand Theft Auto, Take-Two and Rockstar, they're already sitting on a mountain
Oh my
of
god.
money.
Yeah, this is the second time they
So-
put out the game, and it's selling really well still.
Yeah, so I don't think they're. I'm sure they would love to have.
And it
the
hasn't been
sales.
launched on PC yet.
Yeah, that's a whole.
It's a whole other revenue income. They're
Yeah.
just going to be rolling in money.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Give me
so.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, will they? God
Son of a
damn it!
bitch,
Give us
give
a
it to me
fucking
now.
game already. Jesus. So yeah, well, there's that, and moving on, the Nvidia Shield.
Oh my God.
Anthony,
Patrick.
you've upgraded.
Yeah, so have you.
Yes, we're both Shield owners now.
So I wanted the tablet because, it's first world problems. I loved the Shield Portable, but I wanted a bigger screen.
Yes.
And I wanted that same experience. And so thankfully NVIDIA made a tablet. And so I offered Pat, I was like, hey, if I get the tablet, do you want the portable? And he was just like, yes. Obviously, yes, I do. So do you want to talk about your experiences with the portable?
Well, I mean, I love it. It took a little bit doing. I mean, this is here at the Play On Studio. This is the lair of technology. Things just work.
We're on the
here.
cusp.
Yes, things just you bring it in, and technology just feels warm and fuzzy, and they're like, "Ooh, I could just connect to anything I want, and I want to stream my content to that bookshelf over there, which I can totally do in this house.
Yep.
At my house, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, we could work with this.
Yeah.
You know, we could. I mean,
Make this work.
This will totally work. I mean, it's got some work to do. When I got the portable shield home, right away, I mean, it worked right off the bat.
Nice.
I mean, it started working right away, but I had a serious lag issue going on. You know, and eventually the connection would drop. The shield itself was freezing. The stream was freezing. I was like, God damn it, this is so disappointing. And, you know, looking at the shield, at the specifications for it, it needs a 5 gigahertz.
5 gigahertz
gigahertz
You need
channel.
a dual band router.
Yep, for your router. I did not have that. I had, you know, the cheese ball AT&T router that comes with your service. It was an AB band. It was still working, but it just wasn't playable on the Shield. I could not stream from the PC. It was connecting, but really wasn't working well at all. So thank God a grocery store that's in my neighborhood was open.
24 hour.
Yeah, open 24 hours. At midnight, I realized, all right, the router's totally the problem here.
Yeah.
I just said, fuck it, I got to make this work. So at midnight, I went out, found myself a dual band, 5 gigahertz N router. Got it home, plugged it in, bam, problem solved.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I started playing Shadow of Mordor, laying in bed, and it was just so
heavenly,
good.
huh?
Oh, it was so good.
So nice.
So good. Now, I've been tinkering with the grid application. Have you been
I've not tried it yet, but I like the concept.
Yeah, it's GameFly for free for Nvidia Shield owners. So I was playing a little Street Fighter 4.
How was there any lag?
There was lag
because that you're playing remotely,
yeah,
and that's streaming through your internet through their servers.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect, and it's still in beta.
Yeah,
I can't stress that enough. It's still in beta, and there's some areas where it flat out just doesn't even work. So if you're buying it just for the grid feature, which is now free, I think until June for all Nvidia Shield owners, whether it's the tablet or the portable, it's only free till June, and you should totally check into testing it first to make sure that if that's what you're buying it for, so you don't have to buy games, you can just stream them. Check it out at your house first.
Yeah.
But I love the Shield. It's everything that we said about it on the last podcast or a few episodes ago when we talked about it holds true to this day. It's just an amazing piece of hardware.
So do you find yourself playing games at night next to your wife in bed?
It's happened.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
You get the comfort of a companion and all the joys of a video game.
Yeah, it's totally happened. We may have had sex once.
While it was happening?
I think it happened.
What? Did we just have sex?
Something happened. I know there was a mess I had to clean up afterwards. I was like, what?
That was just from Shadow of Mordor.
I was either excited about this thing or you did something. I don't know. I had headphones on, so I couldn't really hear.
Classic wet dreams.
Yeah, so yeah, it's great. It works perfectly on my machine. The router solved all my issues and actually made every other device in the house faster. So that was
amazing.
Yeah, so that was great.
Technology.
Yeah. So now, what is your experience now that you've gone from the portable to the tablet? What are you feeling?
It's definitely the more advanced of the two, and definitely more of an investment because the tablet itself, first of all, is a great tablet. And all the reviews you can go out and find about the Nvidia Shield tablet, they'll pretty much tell you, like, not only is it good for all the gaming stuff, but it's just a good Android tablet. It's just one of the best Android tablets around for the price because for some reason it's cheaper than most other tablets. That being said, you have to buy the controller separate, and the controller looks exactly like the Nvidia Shield portable, but with the thumbsticks are out instead of being recessed. And like all the same functionality. Everything is literally the exact same except you just get a bigger screen. But with the disconnect of not having the controller attached to the screen, which I really loved about the portable, the curse of having a larger screen means you have to have it separate. So it's a little more awkward when you're trying to play it because like when I did so much in bed, you can't just hold it up and play it. You have to like position it somewhere, or you have to like set it, on your stomach or on a stand or something.
It's hard.
It's a hard life, okay? The struggle is real.
The Shield struggle.
But it's something that should be said because depending on where you're going to play it would really, like I would recommend the portable hands down all the time. The tablet is for a very specific, if you can use it, then it's great. So I ended up having to get this weird adjustable arm mount that attaches to the bed to put the tablet on. I mean, it looks like the fucking nerdiest goddamn thing when you walk in there. But it works. And so, everything about it is really nice, but there are trade-offs. Like the battery is not as good because it has to power the big screen.
Really? Now,
Yeah.
you notice, is it a
Hugely
significant-
noticeable difference.
Really? Wow.
Hugely, like half the battery life.
Wow.
Again, the controller's separate, so you have two things you kind of have to charge. Little things, but having the two large front-facing speakers, having the bigger screen, having the fact that it's a tablet and you can type on it, you can play all the other Android games a lot easier than you could with the Shield because you have full access to the screen. Is really nice. But if you can get through those trade-offs, then it's a good device. Some other things that are kind of goofy though, where the build quality of the Shield Portable is just phenomenal for the price.
Right.
The tablet has some weird shortcuts where like the buttons, I'll let you try it. The buttons almost like you have to stare at it to see where they are and click it because there's no like click to it.
Yeah, they're not.
They're so recessed. It feels like it's just part of the bezel. So it's like really hard to tell if you're hitting it and if it's activating or not. It's little things like that. There's no physical buttons on this tablet, so that takes getting used to after coming from an iPad. So like when you want to go to the home, you have to like swipe down, then push the home, like the little home icon. Just little things. So in general, it's great because it's the same experience I'm used to. It's just on a bigger screen. But it's not what I would recommend for somebody just getting into it. I would say absolutely just get the Shield Portable because it's all in one. It's easy. It's durable. It has all the same functionality as long as you can get by with a smaller screen.
Right.
So
now I will say this though, having the Shield tablet and having that mount in bed means you can lay your arms flat and hold your controller.
Yeah, which is what I've been doing.
Which the Shield struggle if you're using the portable.
And the Shield Portable's heavy.
It's heavy.
Some heft to
it's
it.
solid. You got to kind of position yourself. I mean, it's just like when you were a kid and you were playing Game Boy. Like you had to figure out a way to hold that thing. And
Your elbows have to like mesh into your chest.
Exactly. And if you're laying and you want to play Game Boy in bed, like you had to like hold it up over your face.
Yeah.
Or prop yourself up and then play. But then, sometimes your neck is up against the backboard and getting pushed down, you get tired or whatever. And it's just, it's hard to find a comfortable position.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculously like just
Well, no, but it's
first
things to
world
think
problems.
about.
But this is stuff you have to think about if you want to go
the trade-offs.
to this level with
And
your...
he's giggling. Just fucking playing with your covered in 3DS
No,
games.
I'm just laughing because it so is
the
first
truth.
world problems.
Yeah,
and,
it really
like,
is.
It is. It is. But I mean,
love
you know
it.
what? They made these tailored pieces of electronics for very specific gaming
Right.
purposes. So if they're in your house and this is how you want to play it,
Yeah.
here's
what you need to know.
Yeah, this is what you need to know. I mean, because if you're in bed and you don't have that mount, then you're looking at rigging up something with pillows or some
Which
sort of...
was a pain in the ass because that's what I was doing
Yeah.
at first. I bought a case to like balance on my tummy. Didn't work out so well because then if you moved, it's a whole thing. So
Oh, God, the
so
screen
like
moved.
the investment is you have to buy the tablet, a controller, potentially a case, and a mount if you want to do it in the bed. And what I've been doing lately is because you can plug it with an HDMI adapter into your TV, which is what I've been doing a lot because I can lay in bed. I don't even have to fiddle with the mount. I could just play it on the TV. And what's nice about the controller is it has a headphone port. So just like a PlayStation 4, plug in your headphones to the controller. You get all the audio through that. You don't even have to disturb your significant other while they're sleeping.
Right.
So there are
She
those
usually
nice
doesn't
trade-offs.
wake up very
Just
easily,
wake up
though.
anyway.
Yeah. But I'll do you one. I'll go further than that though.
shit.
Now, if you have the PlayStation Portable, you can do the same thing. It's got an HDMI out, so
Yeah.
you can go to a TV. It's got Bluetooth, so you can connect the portable Shield controller to, or the actual dedicated Shield controller to the Shield Portable, so you
Yes.
can play it on your TV. Then you can use your headphones. I was going to say if you didn't want to be wired, you'd have to get a set of Bluetooth headphones and connect to your Shield Portable to get the sound.
Now, here's the biggest negative with this tablet. And I don't know if it's just mine or if it's all of them. It seems like doing some research, it's all of them. The Wi-Fi antenna inside is not great.
Really?
Where the portable would get great reception no matter where I was in the house. And our house is not big. Our router's in the middle of the house, so
It's
whether
a
I'm in
studio.
the
It's a
bedroom,
studio, yeah, it's
the
just like-
studio is
Yeah.
whether you're in the bedroom of the studio or the family room of the studio, you would get great signal no matter what. For some reason, the tablet, even being like 15 feet from it, it registers like 50% signal, and you have to
Really?
be on that 5 gigahertz band for it to work.
Yes, absolutely.
So when I'm playing in bed, or when I was playing in the family room, I would get a lot of latency errors, and it would lag out. which has been very frustrating because I'm like, the whole point of this is to be able to play it anywhere.
Yeah.
So now I have to look into a solution about getting Ethernet cables into the bedroom or something so that I can plug this in. So like,
Have you thought about a wireless booster to boost the signal?
I've used those before and they don't seem to work very well.
Okay.
But what I have invested in is $10 on Amazon are called power line adapters. Have you ever heard of this magic?
Oh, yes.
I hope it works. It's coming tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Oh, man.
You plug into your electrical outlet, you plug in your Ethernet cable, and it uses your house's electrical signal as an internet connection.
I feel like when you plug that in, you're going to travel back in time.
Right?
To like 1955
Yeah.
style.
Like,
I
we're
feel
gonna
like
travel data
when it
through
happens,
this.
there's just going to be a streak of flame and Anthony will be gone.
I hope it works because if it does, it could solve all of my problems. But again, such an investment when before all I had to do was hold the portable and I was done.
Right.
So the trade-off of the bigger screen, the trade-off of all these different features is there. I also feel like an asshole because I have an iPad and an Nvidia Shield tablet.
Yeah.
We're kind of an Apple family. So I feel
Yeah,
like
I
now
felt
I
like he
have
was
2
cheating on
tablets.
me.
Yeah, it's kind of the odd man out now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the
Yeah.
black sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 2 tablets now.
Do you just feel like when you're using that tablet for tablet purposes, non-gaming purposes, that your iPad's just
I
kind
already
of
told
look
him
at you
he's
like,
not allowed to
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
the iPad.
He's
does
not
like
allowed
it.
to use it for anything but gaming. If he
Yeah,
wants
the
to
iPad
stay
does not
married
like
to me
it.
and be an Apple family, then that's it.
I can't get used to Android interface. I know some people are Android, some people are
Yeah,
Apple.
yeah. You know,
I just can't get into
I've
it.
got the Galaxy tab here, and you talked about there's no buttons.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have I'm using the
Yeah.
Galaxy tab. It does have a wake up button, but then everything is with the swipe. All the icons to do
Right.
all that stuff is, it's all displayed on screen. I'm
Yeah.
fully used to it because I use
It's your
Android phones, and so I've
Right.
never been locked
thing. It's your
into
jam.
Apple products.
Yeah.
Nothing against them. It's just
No,
I love
we're
the
totally
openness.
locked into it.
Yeah, so I like the openness of the Android platform.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. You brought that up, because using that screen, like I knew you had the tablet and I knew you had the bigger screen. Now playing Shadow of Mordor on a 5-inch screen can be difficult because
Yeah.
that is a detail-rich game. There's a lot of fine detail, which the game looks amazing on the portable screen. It
Yeah.
looks great, but like looking at the mini map for objectives,
It's hard. And the text.
yeah, text it can be difficult. So, and that was Shadow of Mordor. Now, when I played Street Fighter 4 on it,
No problem.
man, that was wet spots on the jeans.
Oh,
and,
shit.
Like, everything like that was
Wet
like
spots on the jeans.
it was
beautiful.
that was oh man, it was right at home and it
Nice.
felt good. The controllers felt good. The
nice.
buttons, all the input, everything was just so. It was just perfect. But I knew you had the tablet and I knew you had the bigger screen, so I was like, Now
Do you think you wanted it instead?
I thought, well, maybe I should just, instead of doing this and going through the struggle of the smaller screen, should I just go all in
Just go crazy.
or buy this portable, play it, and then parlay it into the purchase of a tablet somewhere in the future?
Like I did, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, if you're going to end up replacing your tablet,
yeah.
this is a great tablet. It's a smaller screen than one you have.
Yeah.
But again, it's in all the reviews you'll find online. It's just a great Android tablet. It's one of the highest ends you can get for the cheapest price, and it has all the functionality. And it has this kick-ass pen feature, which like I didn't think I would
You get
dig.
you
But
get a lot of style.
you
You
could
get a
do,
little
like-
stylus.
it's like a very fine point stylus where you can do like really nice paintings and drawings and note taking and stuff with. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Does it learn your handwriting?
It does not. I don't think so.
What?
But here, click those buttons on the side. See if you see the struggle that I'm talking about.
Let's see
We'll
if you see
pass it
this
around.
one.
You
Yeah,
guys can feel
yeah,
it.
We'll do a little show and tell. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing the portable, and I mean, I do love it. But yeah, that's one thing that I've been. When you told me you had the tablet, especially with the mount in bed,
Oh,
I was just like, oh, because my arms started to get a little sore, my
Yeah,
elbows started to get a little sore,
that is
things were
nice.
getting a little achy. I was kind of positioned funny in bed to play it.
get some eye
So-
strain going. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, overall, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, I love playing that thing, and I do love the clickable mouse that you can have.
Oh,
you can have a
yeah.
little clickable mouse. If you push down on one of the thumbsticks, it
Yeah.
brings up a little mouse, and you can use that. And actually, you think it would be clumsy. You think it would be kind of difficult to use a mouse with the thumbstick like that, but
Yeah.
it works beautifully.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And the
So,
fact, like, if you attach it to, you get the HDMI adapter and put it to a TV. I mean, having that as like a little set-top box really works amazing.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Now, here's one thing. Origin EA's Origin service doesn't stream to the Nvidia Shield.
Okay, so there's a way around it.
There's a way around. Okay.
And here's the other weird thing I was going to tell you to look at. There is an Android app that you can get on any Android device, including your tablet, called Limelight.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Limelight took the Nvidia game stream software and they took the code and made it so that it works on any Android device. So technically, you don't even have to buy an Nvidia Shield. I like to have it because I like to know that I have the official software should I want to use it. But I actually have been using Limelight because for some reason it streams better for me, and there's more control, fine-tuned controls over the different streaming services and the bit rate and the resolution. Like you have more flexibility. But either service, if you add the game to your Steam library as a shortcut, you know how you can add games that aren't Steam games as a shortcut?
Yes.
If you add any game, even if it's an Origin or like a Uplay game from Ubisoft, if you add the shortcut when you launch the Steam app through the Shield, it will let you launch those games and stream them.
Nice.
So, because I've been playing Dragon Age, which was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted the larger screen, because there's so much text in that game, it was getting hard to read. And so, when I launch it through the Steam shortcut, it launches Origin and then launches Dragon Age.
Nice.
Totally fine.
Because it's Bluetooth, the PlayStation Portable has Bluetooth connectivity. I have in my Origin library Command and Conquer Generals.
Oh,
so because
snap.
it has mouse functionality,
So you're
I
gonna
can
get a
play
keyboard and mouse?
Shit.
Shit.
Not only that, you don't even really need a keyboard at all to play Generals. You can do that game solely through a mouse. I mean, there's some keyboard shortcuts that are handy here and there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can totally get away with just using the mouse.
That's cool.
And I'm sure those functions from the keyboard, what limited ones that I ever use, like manual targeting for turrets and tanks and things like that, I could probably map to a function on the mouse, like to the scroll wheel or something like that.
That's awesome.
So that was one bummer because I've been playing Generals a lot. All the tournament maps with hard armies, CPU controlled AI controlled hard armies. So it's been a lot of fun. All the tournament maps have just been awesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I would love to have that because that's the one game I've been playing sitting upstairs in front of my computer to play that game. I was like, I would love to have this on the Shield, seeing as it's so open and there's so much Bluetooth functionality with this device.
Should work.
Yeah, it should work.
Sure,
and seeing as it's
do it like that.
Yeah, I got a little Bluetooth laser,
Mouse.
Mouse. It should track on anything. I could track it on the bed if I wanted to.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Now the problem is now I need to look for a new mouse that's not so clicky. So I can be in bed and not wake up the significant other.
The mudslide. You go down this rabbit hole and you gotta. Oh, I'm gonna get this. All right. Well, I should probably get this stand for it. I should.
Yeah.
Get
They're very very tailored pieces of electronics for very specific
for
uses.
very small for people like us. But it's worth it. It's awesome. And again, it sold me as an Nvidia customer for life.
Oh, by far.
If they keep up and they keep updating this and just make it better and better. Oh man, I'm sold.
Especially for their first time out of the gate into hardware, and this is what they make. I mean, I know they had the Tegra that came before the dedicated Shield tablet, but they have the PlayStation Portable, or not the PlayStation Portable. They have the Nvidia Shield Portable, and now they have the tablet Portable. They're both awesome pieces of hardware. They really are.
They know
nice
how to
pieces
make
of hardware.
I mean, they do.
Really now the sky is the limit. I mean, this is what they started with.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you imagine, like 5 years from now?
Oh my God.
It'll be like on a little Chromecast USB stick. We'll be streaming games anywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, and not only that. I mean, the portable's gonna. The portable's gonna have a bigger screen. Something is gonna come out. There's gonna be a revision of that with a bigger screen. It's gonna happen.
Annie, pull the
look at
pen
this.
out.
Annie's lost in Android
She's
world.
already
Over
lost
there.
in it.
Yeah.
I can't figure out how to use it.
Just pull the pen out.
You don't have to say things like that. We know you like it over there.
Nah.
So you're doing it intentionally. You're like the person on the commercial that doesn't know how to use like the Phillips head screwdriver.
Raise the seat.
Yeah.
Lower the seat.
You guys suck.
And then do the painting app.
Okay.
This is what you call paint in the Android world.
MS Paint. It was actually funny because we both bought MacBooks at the same time, and Annie was doing something yesterday. She's like, "What's the Mac version of MS Paint?" I'm like, "I don't know." And what was called Paintbrush.
Yeah.
Well, we learned together. She gave me that divorce look.
Divorce.
Anyway.
Well, cool. So overall,
Overall,
if
love
you
it.
are if you're a PC gamer
Yeah.
and you need a streaming device, you wanna play it all over the house,
And you like
They-
Android games?
is it a worthwhile investment?
Absolutely.
And you like Android games?
Here's the checklist. If you want a tablet, if you like Android, if you like Android games, and if you have a PC that can support this, absolutely no brainer.
Mhm.
Get it.
Nice. Now, if you are not looking for a tablet, but you're looking for a streaming solution,
And you want something more simple and you're on a tighter budget, get the portable.
yes, the portable all day long. Now, it does only have the 5-inch screen, but it works.
And again, you can still connect it to a TV. So if you still wanted to play it on a bigger screen, you can get the adapter, plug in the mini HDMI, and you're good to go.
Because that happened to me because when I was configuring it, I was sitting in front of my computer when I was going through all the steps to, set up the connection, getting the router configured. And once I got the streaming going, I was looking at the portable and I was like, all right, this is great. This is working. And then I would look up at my actual TV screen and I'd be like, wow.
Damn, it's so much bigger up there.
That looks so nice on that thing. But then I had to remember, this is so I'm not sitting in front of the screen. This is so I
Yeah.
can be, free to roam about the house and play this game wherever I want to play it. So it definitely, it's for a very specific use. For sure.
Annie said she couldn't figure it out. Can you make out what she made my wallpaper?
That looks like a flame tattooed
It's a
wang.
snake.
Male
It's a
genitalia.
snake.
Yeah, that
Jesus
does not.
Christ.
look-
I don't even know how to change that.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be on there forever.
You're gonna
now.
have to swipe up and down it.
Oh my god.
Let me take a look at that thing. I want to see the buttons that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
you want to see the snake
Yeah, you wanna see
penis.
the snake penis. Snake charmer. Also, I'm really bummed because I gently dropped that on the corner of the bed, and it has all these dings around the bezel of it. If you feel around on the left side, it's like you feel all the dings on the front.
Oh yeah, you do have a few nicks in
Yeah.
there.
I was like, shit.
What is that all
Like
about?
a couple days owning it, I trashed the shield.
Now, though, I did notice. I do see a few little like fingerprint smudges on the
Yeah, that
back, but I did note. Now, I read a review saying that it was near impossible to smudge the back of
that's
the Shield tablet.
Oh, the tablet?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah, it's got that like almost like a magnesium back where it's black and very soft. It's so easy to hold with one hand. I must give it that, which you can't do with an iPad. But it does smudge a little bit.
Now, these buttons, this is the Android world of buttons.
Is that what it
I'm
is?
used to
Wow.
this kind of
I'll tell you what.
configuration. This button
It
configuration.
just feels like if I wasn't looking at it, I would have a hard time finding the power button versus the volume and actually registering the press.
It's just very fine inputs. The buttons are. It's
Yeah.
just very, very precise and light.
Dainty, if you will.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's very, there's so everything should be effortless.
Yeah.
So it's like, just,
I just
just
finished.
gently. I push the button. I barely need to. Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
So here's your penis tab.
Thanks.
You found that pretty fast. What do you got a tumbler of those or something?
Popped a quick Google
Got a
on
quick
penis.
tumbler on that?
Google image search penis.
Google image search penis, and one of the very first results was a large.
No. It
tattooed
was not one of
man.
the first ones I had to scroll down.
Oh, that was like page 10.
Yeah. No.
Hey, Google, penises.
Siri. Hey Siri, find me snake penis.
All right. Well, another successful Shield review.
Really good shields.
Moving on, we got a little bit of time left, just a
Little bit of time.
touch of time left for a retro recap. First, want to say happy birthday to the PlayStation.
Happy birthday, PlayStation.
It's weird referring to PlayStation as a retro console, but it's the PlayStation family as a whole is 20 years old.
Wow.
Goes back 20
Holy
years.
fuck.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And it's so weird that the PlayStation, which should have been originally was supposed to be a piece of Nintendo hardware way back when,
Isn't that cool?
wound up spawning the Philips CDI and some terrible Zelda games and Link games and Mario games. Now has taken over to be one of the greatest consoles of all time. It's really crazy. So yeah, happy birthday, PlayStation.
Happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, good times with PlayStation. Did you own an original PS1?
I did, and it
Hell
was
yeah.
a struggle between the original PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 at the time.
Yeah.
The struggle was real. Thankfully, Eric had a Nintendo 64, and I could get the PlayStation. But I was always jealous of some of those 64 games, so it was a struggle.
Yeah. I missed the original PS1. I came in at the
Really?
I came in at the PlayStation 2. I was a Nintendo 64 player. And from N64 I went to Dreamcast, and from Dreamcast I went to PS2. So I missed the original PlayStation entirely. Like I didn't like really get into the PlayStation and discover a lot of those games until I really started putting my game collection together. And even then, the PlayStation wasn't a system that I went out and got like immediately. You know, I got that maybe halfway through putting together my own collection.
Wow.
And not only that, I've always felt so lost with the PlayStation 1 because there's just so many goddamn PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah.
That is a massive, massive library that is just huge.
That's true.
And some games are just terrible, while others are great. All the Street Fighters on PlayStation 1 are amazing. I mean, those are great games.
Is that where your love for Street Fighter came from? Was PlayStation 2?
No, it came from the arcade originally, Street
yeah.
Fighter Championship Edition.
That makes sense.
Or the arcade edition, World Warrior, whatever was in the arcade back in 93 or 94. And then when that got ported over to the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2 was ported over to the Super Nintendo. That's where it started on consoles. And it's been a love affair ever since.
Love ever since.
Passionate, fiery love affair with that game.
Adorbs.
So yeah, I missed PlayStation 1 entirely. I feel like I missed out on a whole era of gaming.
Yeah.
But,
You did.
you know, did you play PlayStation
Yeah.
1? Did you have one?
Oh yeah.
You did? Back when it came out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Really?
when we were playing emulators recently, she was playing Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, bitches.
Oh, that's right. You are a Crash Bandicoot
Bubsy,
player.
whatever the fuck
yeah.
it was.
Bubsy Bobcat was really, really tough.
Yeah.
But Crash Bandicoot was my jam.
Now, which one did you have? Did you have like the little portable one, or did you have the one that had the flip-up LED
Flip
screen?
up. Oh wait, back up. We had the console,
Yeah, like the actual just the box.
the box,
Yeah.
and the thing came up, and
Yep.
then there's two buttons. There's
Yep.
one button on each side. Yeah, we had that one. There's the
Nice.
round buttons.
Yep.
The gray
Start
was all
and-
gray.
Yeah.
Yep.
Purple. There's
Nice.
purple on it.
I will say I was jealous of the PlayStation 1 players because they eventually came along with that. Because people, like, immediately they're like, well, this is a console that should just go into fucking cars. And they made that LED screen, the flip-top
Oh,
LED
yeah.
screen that fit on top of the PlayStation unit that would pop up.
Whoa.
And you could just play it on that little tiny screen.
Wow.
Yeah, like I started
remember
seeing
seeing
that.
that
in
We
in,
cars.
didn't have that.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was that? Fast and the Furious. One of the racers had that. I remember thinking like, that's really cool.
Yeah, which is funny because Fast and Furious goes all the way back to that.
Sure does.
It goes all the way back.
Yeah.
So yeah, PlayStation. There you go. Happy birthday.
And PlayStation is coming out with a limited edition PlayStation 4.
That's
Did you see
right.
that?
Yes, I did see
The
it.
20th
man.
anniversary, and it's
Yeah.
styled and colored after the original PlayStation.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's great. Yeah, it's pretty nice. There was even, I don't know if it was a joke or not, but someone even released, it was re-released Sega Saturn controllers or PlayStation controllers that were themed in the style of Saturn controllers. It was really weird. Yeah,
That's cool.
it's really weird. I don't know if that was real or not. The pictures certainly look real, but you know, who knows?
I believe
it. It was interesting. Moving on really quick to a quick review of the Retro Trio. We played that a little bit, and you can purchase it on funstock.co.uk. We were playing it a little bit. We were messing around with it. We played some Super Nintendo. We played some Genesis. Annie showed off her Sonic skills, and the skills are real. She showed me some
Skills
stuff.
are really
She knows
bad.
the hidden stuff.
Yeah, I learned. I definitely learned. I was like, oh, I was not aware.
Aware of what?
Well, the extra life that you showed,
Oh yeah.
I never knew that one was there. I had no idea.
Listen, we also had a Sega.
Yeah.
My dad used to play with us. It was like the only time my brothers and my sister and I got along was when we played video games.
Memories.
Family.
Oh,
So yeah, we played some. We played some Sonic, and then I watched Annie and Anthony play a round of Faceball 2000 for Super Nintendo.
So that
Yeah,
was
listen.
awkward for you.
Yeah, that was something.
Son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh.
So I really- I
that
want-
was the chasing game with the blobs
Yeah.
and shooting
Yeah, with
a ball.
the
yeah,
smiley
well,
faces,
I
yeah.
don't like
I don't do
Chasing-
chasing games.
Yeah, it's a fun game though. You need to play a single player, Annie.
So bad at me.
You need to play a single player
bad at what?
Faceball.
I said you're so mad at me.
I'm so and I'm so bad at video games.
No, I think you need some time alone with that game because
alone
it
time.
grows
I don't
on
like
you.
feeling chased. I don't like that. That's scary.
She
But
doesn't
then-
like
Even if
zombies.
it's by a giant blob with soft balls. I don't like that.
They're smiley faces. They smile at you.
Yeah.
And they say, have a
That
nice
makes
day
it-
after
that
they kill
makes
you.
it creepier.
Have a nice day.
Nice day, bitches.
So we played it, and guys, what did you think of it? What did you think of this little retro console? That
Well, let's
just,
start at the beginning. We opened it from the box, and I have to say that when I held the thing in my hand, it felt very lightweight.
The controller?
Maybe no, the actual
Oh, the actual
machine.
unit, yeah.
Really lightweight. Kind of felt like it was cheaply made. And for $138 US, I
Yeah,
have to
it's-
say
it was-
it would need a little bit more like bulk to it.
yeah.
Some solidness.
Need a little bit more
It
like
it felt like it could just throw it.
yeah. It felt like
Yeah,
if
it's
I
very
dropped
light.
it, it would have just shattered.
Yeah.
And same thing with the controllers. They were very lightweight.
And then we talked about breaking controllers.
Well, yeah, because I
Oh my
dropped one.
God.
Yeah, you did. But it survived.
It did.
It certainly survived.
Stronger than my phone, that's for sure. I don't know. Otherwise, I think it was good. Like I had no strong opinions about it either way.
Yeah, it's Anthony. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I agree with Andy's comments. It felt like I don't want to say cheaply made, but it just felt not like a solid console like you're used
Yeah.
to, which is just a testament to how far technology has come that you can have 3 consoles in one and it's still so lightweight. We played Sega game, we played Sonic, we played 2 Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, we played Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and Roll Racing, which
Yeah.
I'm really good at. I beat Pat twice.
Yeah.
And
We'll let that go.
Let that one go.
No comment.
and those played fine. What's weird about well, not weird. The controller is exactly styled as a Super Nintendo controller, regardless if you're playing Nintendo, Sega, or Super Nintendo. And so that takes a little getting used to. But we had a little bit of a challenge trying to play the Nintendo game. For some reason with Paperboy, which I guess it could be the problem with the cartridge, or maybe it's, who knows, we could not get the controller to work at all for
Yeah,
Paperboy.
we couldn't get it to function. Yeah.
So that was a little weird. So we couldn't test the Nintendo. It booted up the game. It went to the menu. It showed the demo and all that, but we couldn't actually play.
Yeah.
Things I loved, you can switch the region lock at any time for any
Yes.
of the systems. So if you have an imported game, no problem. You can play it.
Yep.
You don't have to have a special system. I liked that you have input ability for any of the original controllers. So you can plug in an original Super Nintendo, you can plug in an original Sega, an original Nintendo, or you can just use the ones that it comes with. I think that was a very nice move.
It is nice because we were confused at first, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh man, do we need the original controllers? No way.
No.
But there's a separate switch for it.
Yeah.
And I'd said when we were messing around with it, looking at all, because when you pop down the little trap door on the front of it and you
Yeah.
look at all the inputs, it is just a little horror piece of electronics where it's just
Put
do what you
anything
just
in there.
do whatever you want, just plug in whatever you want, switch me to whatever you want,
Yeah.
put whatever game you want into me, and I will play it.
And I'll just do whatever
I'll
I
just
want
do
for
it.
you.
Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Sounds dirty.
Yeah, and it kind of
beautiful.
is when you think about it with electronics. You're like,
Quite
I'm just
filthy.
going to stick this Famicom game in you, and I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to put a Mega Drive game in you, and then I'm going to switch it, and I'm going to put my Genesis all in you. Like,
Put my Genesis in you.
yeah, like it just takes anything and plays it.
Yeah, takes it.
Now, if you are a retro collector, I think this is more like I have a retro duo that I use as like a tool, because sometimes I don't want to, I replaced the 72-pin connector on my NES. It's a little tight on the games, and if there's a game that I just want to just gently put into a connector and play, just so I can play the game, see how it works, make sure everything is good with it, it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
Also, if you are just getting into game collecting and you haven't found an NES, you haven't found a Super Nintendo, you haven't found a Genesis or the Mega Drive, the Famicom, or Super Famicom,
Yeah.
this is a good place to start if you have the games, because the games are always easy to find. If you can find a game store, you can find a thrift store, a thrift shop, a Savers, a Goodwill, something like that. You can find games for this thing, and you don't have to worry so much about hunting down original hardware. So it's good if you're just getting into it.
Or if you're not even wanting to be a collector, you just want to play those games, and maybe you don't have.
Yeah, you had them in a
Nintendo
shoebox.
laying
Yeah,
around.
you had them in a shoebox in your closet from when you were a kid, and you're like, I just want to play this.
Like if you're going off to college and you have games you want to bring, like maybe you want to bring Legend of Zelda, for Super Nintendo or something, or you have Sega and whatever, this is that's a great alternative. You could play 3 consoles in one control. It comes with 2 controllers, which is nice. You can play 2-player games. But yes.
So it's a nifty little piece of hardware. I mean, if it's for just the, I don't know, the casual, the filthy casual retro
console
gamer that doesn't have a lot of the hardware, but you can find some games, some Mario games or something like that. Makes a neat little holiday gift.
Yeah.
It's not bad. So. Yeah, so we had some fun with it though. So thank you, funstock.co.uk.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We
Yay.
had fun. We had fun
love
with it.
you.
And that is going to do it for. Well, actually, before we go, I do want to say a special. We probably should have put this at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll have to message him and let him know. But Anthony Carl on fan of Planet Arbitrary, big fan of Game Classy. Heard us talking about Sega and the Sega card and going way back, different pieces of Sega hardware. And he had posted on the Planet Arbitrary Facebook about the Sega My Card. Now, these cards are like the TurboGrafx 16, or for people overseas, like the PC Engine or the Turbo Duo. They're like little credit card games. The games actually come on like little credit cards, and you can play them. Well, Sega had their own proprietary version of the card, and it was in America called the Sega card. Overseas and in Japan it was called the Sega My Card. Anthony, what a great guy, sent me a Sega My Card. I'd never seen one before. I saw a picture online, but I had actually never seen one in the wild before.
In the wild.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's in the wild. Sent me a Sega My Card. So when I get home, I got it in the mail just tonight. On my way over, I saw it as I was walking out to come over here to record. Saw it laying on the table, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if that's from Anthony. Sure enough, it was. So thank you,
work.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
that was
you.
super nice. We really appreciate that. And then also GameCollecting.net. They're doing their Secret Santa. I think registration is still open. So if you want to get involved in a Secret Santa with a bunch of game collectors, go check out GameCollecting.net and register. And I think there's still time. I don't know. You need to get to the website and check it out.
Get there fast.
Yeah, get there quick. And that is going to do it for this episode of Play On.
We did it.
Yep, successfully. We made it, guys. So be sure to check out planetarbitrary.com for all your Planet Arbitrary needs. Be sure to check out Game Classy, tabletop gaming, any tabletop gaming, Dungeons & Dragons. They just did the bonus cast where they reviewed the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Monster Manual, I believe it was. I listened to it. It was good stuff. All those bonus casts that they do for Dungeons & Dragons, those are solid casts right there. I enjoy them. That's when the guys, they're not, they get crazy on Game Classy. But on the D&D bonus cast, that's where they get a little bit more crunchy with the game details.
Crunchy jams.
And if you want those details, they're in there, and the guys get pretty technical. It's fun. It's a good listen. Also, if you're on Twitch, if you follow Steve from Game Classy on Twitch, Steve and I have been playing games on Twitch. Him and I have been streaming for the past couple weeks now. So every weekend or so, you can catch Steve and I twitching.
Twitching.
Yeah, dive kick. We've been playing that mostly, and that's been a lot of fun. Might have a surprise in the future about that. We'll have to tune in, maybe. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out all the podcasts on iTunes. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. All the Twitters. You can follow me at Pat's Game Reviews. You can follow Anthony
Snoogans to you.
You can follow Annie.
Smoke signal.
Smoke signal.
A Western Union Telegram. You can follow the podcast at Play On Podcast. You can check us out on Stitcher Radio. We're on Stitcher. We're on Podomatic.com. You can go to planetarbitrary.com and you can go to the Connect section. You can find everything there, including the Play On Podcast Flipboard, the digital magazine. Everything we talk about on the podcast, you can find in the Play On Flipboard, along with other little news bits that we find interesting from the world of gaming. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out GameCollecting.net and Reddit our Game Collecting. Anything else, guys? You want to throw anything else in there?
Play on, bitch.
Play on.
Play on.